G'day guys and welcome back to the Starswift Chronicles. My name is Michael from Ask a Pathfinder, and with me once more is, of course, my beloved crew from the Starswift, of course, led by the ever-famous Ulrich Keen, played by Master Guy.
Who apparently does not know how to do the wave, and I've just dropped my dice.
Hello. Relax.
And of course, his brother and new recipient of fresh, clean lungs after last week's escapades, Elias Keene, played by Josh.
That's how you beat the medical system, boys.
And currently, free Medicare. And of course, deep in the bowels of the Starswift's engine rooms, tinkering and prodding and getting into knife fights with goblins, is of course the Furblin creature known as Dolyug, played by our own Sebastian.
You know he asked for it.
And of course, manning the helm and ever turning his gaze upwards to the stars above is, of course, our beloved Bastion Fell, played by Bon.
Hey guys.
How's that? Those profession ranks in cat herding there, Bastion?
You know, it's getting better. I'm getting clawed. Oh, it's so painful.
Also, I'd like to take this point to say that that there is a certain member of the NPC cast, a goblin named Trax, who is currently under the impression that everyone aboard the ship is suffering from Stockholm Syndrome, whilst under the command of a trigger-happy lunatic who appears to constantly shoot and threaten his crew. So, without any further ado, let's get into today's recap. Now let's. Now I'm going to put the Dice of Destiny to let somebody else cover the recap this week, because I've been doing it for a while. So I'm gonna lunge into someone here. So Dice of Destiny, who is going to recap for me? It is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. That will be Master Dolyug.
And the world's destroyed, and we So last week we were. Oh, see that what's inside the egg? Have no idea. Had a robot try and almost kill me and my precious self, and it also spat some stuff at Elias that did some damage, I guess. I mean, maybe I don't know. Then we've lost and then found Trax. I knew where he was. I swear, he's just up there. And so then we got to go into the med bay and help Elias, who was coughing on something, and here we are now with bleeding out Trax and newly refurbished Elias.
Dolyug, truly the best of us.
Well, none of that is entirely untrue. Yes, indeed, the group has indeed found themselves in quite a precarious situation after their battle with the android that they had found in the engineering bay. And Elias is now indeed healthy and clean after having his lungs vacated from the sticky, monstrous biotechnology that had been invading his person, thanks to the efforts of his teammates. Amongst the refuse and other bio-tendrily type things, Bastion had made a discovery of a piece of Graith technology, which he brought to Ulrich's attention. The captain then seized the moment and demanded an explanation from Elias and his relationship with the Graith, who are these very pragmatic, utilitarian, very stringent, strict, violent people who believe themselves better than everyone else. These anthropomorphic canines, as it were. Very bad news, very xenophobic, and very dangerous. And any relationship with them should definitely be taken with the right amount of care and diligence. Elias, when last we spoke, you were about to unveil some very juicy pieces of, you're going to come up with an explanation for this bit of great technology.
Right. I don't know what's on that chip right there, but I do have a bit of history with the Graith. Back when I was still working with Dad, marsh, you know. We got called on to the engineers because everyone's making their preparations. There's some work that needed to be done. I came on work, and we started. It's a big project, a few months. We started working. You know, Dad, it's good as he does.
Get to the point.
Okay, fine. Basically, while I was working, I exchanged words with some of the nobles' families that they took umbrage with, and we fought a bit. And one in particular, his name was Katrin Charent, and I won. Well, I just thought there was end of it. Well, next day, I apparently had given her some insult and her powerful family, so they dragged me out in front of all the grave and beat the living snot out of me. And they thought the matter settled. Well, she came by to gloat. We exchanged some more words. She took umbrage with them, and we fought. And then I was taken out in front of some grave, and they made example of me again. And this went on for 2 months, about. Them humiliating me, and me enjoying the few private victories I managed to take. But one day, Katrin comes back with a knife. No words, nothing. She throws a knife at my feet, pulls her own, and we fight. And I mean, really fight. None of this, no sparring, no. It's dirty, and I almost died. But I won. Just one last time. And then she did something I didn't expect. She kissed me. And I her. And things went on for a while. It's a bit secret. And then the day came that my work's finished. And I didn't have an excuse to be there. But that wasn't going to stop me, so I came back. Eventually, her father found me and his men. They took me out, beat the living crap out of me, and threw me in a box, and then just started filling it up with water. They just slammed it shut. And I was going to drown. And I thought, I wasn't going to die. I wasn't going to die without spending my life with her. So I pried that metal tin off, ripped my arm through the hole, and pressed my face through it, ripping the skin off of it so I could get enough air to tip the dang thing over and live. And live I did. Fortunately enough, some dock workers were there, as one with some other shipments from, I forget which race. I was barely conscious at the time. But her father saw to it that I wouldn't be back. He branded me a criminal. And he threw me into the prison ship. Its name is...
Search.
I had that. Here it is. It's the threw me in prison. And fortunately enough for me, I was thrown in with maximum security prison. Which allowed him and his cohorts to come and kick the snot out of me every day. Well, when the dragons came, there was honor to be kept. And the tank was filled with prisoners. And I was one of them. I don't know what they did to me when they took me out of that dockyard. As you can imagine, I was one step from dead. But that's my story with the Graith. Just as idiot who couldn't keep his mouth shut, and who doesn't know well enough then to let go. And I'm not going to let go. I'm not dying. Not until I see her again. No matter what, I don't care. I don't care about anything. I'm not dying. That's why I always have a smile on my face. I've seen the edge of what horrible things people can do to each other and what you can go to. I've seen the black. I've stared in the void. I'm not dying.
Mr.
That's
Fell,
right. I don't know.
Yes, Captain.
would you download these ship's logs?
Hi, Captain.
Mr. Zagutu,
No.
will you make sure the goblin and that woman are suitable for transport?
Yes, sir.
We're leaving. I turn and head up to the bridge.
All right. Saying no more, the captain turns and makes his way out. There is a palpable tension in the air. Bastian, you also make your leave, and Dolyug, you begin to prepare the stasis table for transport, which it thankfully is already kind of suited for. It just needs to obviously be attached to a gurney, and then the gurney to be transported. As you do so, the goblin turns to you and basically says, "I like the bits of the story where he was getting beaten up."
Yeah, it happens a lot with him. Yeah, that's kind of his magnetized too.
Ah. I had a cat like that once. They said it had 18 lives.
All right, okay.
I didn't know. I didn't know what a cat was, so I just smiled and nodded. All right, Elias. It does take you a little bit to kind of regain your composure. Maybe about 10, 15 minutes. While this is happening, Bastian and Captain Ulrich are making their way towards the bridge. As they do so, you notice that the android person is still standing there, paralyzed, with its head thrown back, with a fresh burn mark through its forehead. Now, at this point in your adventure, you have found a survivor, or you found a couple of survivors for the Della Milani. The person who had hired you, Commander Olaf Neldaralen, has instructed you to bring them to him. As for the ship, Bastian, your check from last week identified that the ship is intact to be able to basically fly. The problem is that what you lack is a sufficient enough power source. So you would likely need some sort of additional generator that you could get, probably yourself or Dolyug, to rig up to the current power source in order to give it the boost it needs to break free of the Lithelium's inherent gravity.
Well,
Dolly.
as I'm walking past the android,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to punch it.
Oh yeah, you crack it in the face, and in kind of like almost like this weird putty-like response. As you hit its face, a perfect imprint of your fist appears as it feels more like you're hitting, well, literally clay as opposed to a person's face.
Does it go down?
If you apply enough force to knock it to the ground, then yes, it does. If you've sort of just done sort of a quick jab, it'll remain standing, but the imprint is still...
Then I will hit it again.
All right. Wham! And then it goes down as it topples to the ground.
Then I will hit it again.
As you do so, its face begins to become concaved.
And again. And again. And again.
As the fists begin to hit, Bastian, you sort of... Are you walking past this? Or you sort of... Yeah.
I'm gonna grab him as he starts breaking it down. The moment if I see his knuckles getting bloody,
Yeah.
kind of just throwing him to the side.
As he continues to punch this android, the head basically at some point just bursts, and the tendrily worms basically become like this, almost like this paste, as it sort of spreads on the floor. He continues to punch, and you do see that his skin begins to break as he's more hitting this pile of just sort of slathered meat and bone. And Ulrich, what do you do as Bastion sort of grabs you from behind and tries to pull you away?
One of two things. So I'm going to make a, what would it be to control one's temper? Wisdom? Constitution?
Well, I'd say wisdom. That's your willpower. Your willpower to seize control.
Stat. Sorry, Mr. Fell. Oh,
Right, understood.
natural 3. I swing at Fell.
All right, make your unarmed strike as you turn to strike at your pilot.
17.
What's your kinetic armor class, please, Mr. Fell?
My kinetic is going to be 13, so you definitely hit.
Okay, landing a solid punch across his jaw.
Unarmed does more damage than armed. I just have to point this out.
I believe unarmed is 1d3.
1d6.
Is it 1d6?
1d6.
I have it as 1d3.
Oh, let's go with 1d3 then. That's much better. 3 points of damage. I'm sorry.
Look, I'm not saying you don't have a reason to be angry. I'm just saying maybe not take it out on me right now and focus on staying alive. Aha. Okay, look, you can have a conversation with your brother, which it very obviously seems you need one. But right now, let's finish our mission, get off this heaping rock of death, and then we can have a real talk about this. Does that work? Do you need to hit me more? Do you need to hit the android more? Or can we get work done?
You are, as always, Mr. Fell, quite right. I apologize. It's complicated.
Eric, I never say this, but I need you to keep your head straight. And I need you to be focused. Oh God, my jaw hurts.
As you sort of like feel your jaw, like it's you kind of while the hit definitely hurt, it's not something that you can't walk off. You sort of it's you just by the time you get to the bridge, your jaw is just a bit tender, but that's about it.
Yeah. As a surprise, I didn't expect it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So meanwhile, back in the medical bay, Doliag and Trax have mounted the rig onto the gurney, and as soon as they have done so, Doliag, could I get you to make an engineering check, please?
Can I assist?
No, you're still on the table at this point, but you will be off in a moment.
That would be a 10.
With a 10, you notice some irregularities. You notice that when a creature should be in this kind of stasis containment, they should be unconscious. But you're actually receiving some very distinct brainwave activity. It is most certainly like this person is conscious of the things that are happening around her. Or this woman.
So, you put her in that stasis, right, Trax?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. No, I did. It was one of the first things I did when the things started going pear-shaped.
So, you know how people should be unconscious when they're in stasis?
Well, I imagine so. I mean, I wouldn't imagine a 300-year stint as a person popsicle would be all too pleasing on the mind.
I think she's conscious.
You what?
I think she
He's
sort of currently listening to what we're saying.
He sort of first of all, his green skin turns this hueish pink color as he realizes he admitted his feelings for her only a few moments ago. As he says, well, we should open it then. We should get her out of there. He begins to start, sort of working the. He starts
Just don't like.
You don't need to. It's a big thing getting out of this. This is a popsicle we're opening up right now.
But she's been there. But she's been there for a week. We can't.
And I smack his wound.
You sort of smack him. You sort of like as you sort of hit his face.
Smack him. I hit his wound.
Oh, his wound. Oh, you son of a. He sort of punches you in the knee.
Oh God.
It's like we have our own chicken fighting ring. Except
Okay, that is a 17 to hit.
And that hits.
All right, so that is 2 points of damage as he hits you in the kneecap. Bang! Ah!
We don't want to open her up yet.
Why not?
She's a popsicle. It's a little weird getting unpopsicled.
Of course it's weird, but it's weirder being a popsicle.
Does she have... it's really cold right now. I think we wouldn't really be fixing anything. That's it. Fel, get over here.
Your Fel is a bit too far away to hear you shouting at him. But Elias, at this point, your body starts to sort of regain sensation and motion. You're still very tender, especially in the lungs, finding your breathing labored. But you're up.
We can get out of it, Dolyog. It's not too much of a problem.
Last time we were doing you, man, you got a good thingy, didn't it? I don't think she's ready to be supported in her own environment. Just leave her in there for a moment and she'll be fine. She's waited this long. I'm sure she can wait a couple more hours.
She can hear you!
I'm sorry, Mrs.
Oh, Dolyog. Well, why do you think it's going to be dangerous getting her out of there?
We had to put a thingy into you, and you just had her in there for a couple moments.
She looked pretty rigged up, by the way.
Yeah, it does. The needles are embedded in her shoulders, her sides, and her legs.
That does look pretty intense.
But we should start the process now. We can't have her just sitting there like this.
Oh, shut up. Come on. The thing hovers. We can move it. Let's go.
I don't agree with this. But look.
Well,
right.
I'm taking it to Phil. Do you want the guy who can actually do the shit to get...
Well, we need a med bay to unlock it. We can't do
that on the ship. We'll be fine.
And then I'll try to unlock it.
All right, make a computing check as you attempt to unlock it.
All right, 17.
Yep, as you do so, the needles retract, and there's this hissing sound as the gas sort of is vented out through the gurneys. It's got like kind of a little couple of vents that it sort of fills and retracts the right kind of gas that it needs. As the shield dissipates, her eyes begin to awaken. As she sees you, she seems to have like this look of concern and panic. She sort of pulls back away from you.
What race is she, by the way?
She appears to be a elf.
Listen. Just calm down. You're not stuck.
Who are you people? You shouldn't be. No, it doesn't say that.
I am Elias. This is Dolyog, and you know him.
As she looks at Trax, she punches him square in the face. And she rolls a natural 20.
What's the punching?
Okay, so so he takes 5 points of damage, and he bounces off the floor against the wall, onto the ceiling, and then lands on a medical table unconscious.
What's wrong with you, mate? A frapper.
Yeah, pretty much. He's got bouncy body as a feature. So as he gets hit,
okay.
He's sort of, where you're not part of the crew, but where is everyone?
You should stay sitting down.
She sort of grabs you by the shirt. Where is everyone?
Lady, I've stared into the void of death. You're going to have to try harder than that. Sit down.
She grabs Doliak. Where is everyone?
I think they're all dead or something. I don't know. It's just
All right. While this is happening, back on deck, Ulrich and Bastion have arrived once more. The sensors and the ship systems are working pretty much to capacity. The only exception, of course, being what Bastion had discovered previously, is that the ship's engines have been depleted and would require more power in order to be able to successfully take off from planet and return to, basically return to the Braxian fleet.
Sir, it seems that I'm going to need Dolly to help me if we want to get this ship moving and get whatever is on here away from this rock.
We don't know what's been going on here. What do we know? We know that the dwarves were here mining red lyrium. Why? We don't know. We don't need it. It can possibly be weaponized. But there doesn't seem to be any signs of that here. This doesn't look like a weapons processing facility. So just mining it here and then taking it back to the fleet seems very risky, if you ask me. Then we've got these tendril-like things. What's that? Did that hatch out of that egg? Is that was on board the ship? The ship brought it here? Why? Was it to feed off of red lyrium? What? We don't know anything. Taking anything back to the fleet, I think, is a risk that we cannot afford to take. We don't know what we're taking back to the Braxian fleet.
Eric, I get that you're angry right now, but we were paid to do a job, and our job currently is to take our cargo, along with our survivors, back to the people who paid us.
I am not going to lose any more people.
It doesn't have to be attached to us. For all we know, I kill the majority of it, and we can figure out from there what we need. But if we're going to get anything out of this, besides getting our contract destroyed and getting murdered by the people who tried to give us the contract, we have to give them something substantial. And we currently have that. We can't lose that just because you're very angry right now. Please. Does this make sense?
We just take the ship and the logs.
What do we do with our survivors?
And obviously we'll take them with us, I suppose.
No. Do we take all of them to him?
Not the ones that are infected.
Fine. That's okay. That works.
Surely not.
All right, so just to clarify, between the two of you, you've discussed you will be taking the ship, which is now freshly cleansed of the vines, as well as the survivors who appear to have no infestation. I assume that this will also include dropping the android at the nearest door when you get the earliest opportunity to do so. You are jettisoning any and all blood lyrium already in the cargo bay area before setting out. And did I forget? And accessing the logs, which you haven't done yet.
Yes. And also, Dolly, if he feels like it, I'm going to calm you right now. Dolly, I kind of really enjoy all the toys you make for us. And with some of this red lyrium, I feel like something really, really entertaining could happen. Can I trust you to have enough control to do something on this ship, not our ship, to make something that'll work for us?
Yeah.
Okay, then we take a small sample, and if we need to, we know where we can find it. Along with killing anything else we need to get what we need for this. Hopefully, please don't. I'm just saying, please don't actually do that, though.
No, never, no.
I'm going to do an insight check for that one.
You probably don't need to. You have enough of a relationship with Doliag to probably know that when you tell him, when you quite literally give him an inch, he will take a mile.
I'm going to trust you. Just don't kill us and destroy too much of this ship. We got to give them something.
All right.
Of course, casting your memory back to earlier this day, where a large explosion had taken out his tech workshop.
It's too late.
Well, it's not that I trust you, Goliath. It's that I have no one else to trust.
As someone with technology, you do know the best.
Okay.
All right, so you need a power supply to get this ship out of here. Is that what you're saying?
Aye, Captain.
Fine. I'll go and get you a power supply. I leave the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
I come Mr. Doliag.
Mm-hmm.
Mr.
Okay.
Doliag. Will one of those electrovore creatures power the ship?
Probably. Oh, yeah. It needs to be big. And dangerous. Really dangerous.
Right. I'll go and get you one.
Captain, it's a little bit more complicated than just getting one. I mean, it might need a whole bunch of people to corner it and capture it and then put it in the thingy and then run away with it. And I think we got a fuel source here, if you know what I mean.
You want to use red lyrium to power the ship?
Yeah.
All right, then what do you need to make it happen?
I need some red lyrium. I need to throw it in, and we'll figure it out from there.
All right, red lyrium.
Oh, and be careful. It's probably bigger, faster.
All right, well, I'm going to the airlock and putting recharging the las pistol for what it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
Not very much. And then I'm going to head out.
All right. So, Ulrich basically prepares to disembark. Meanwhile, in the medical bay, the woman seems to have calmed down quite a substantial bit, especially learning that everyone is dead. She seems to be a little bit morose about this fact. She says, I need my armor. And she sort of stands and she goes to leave.
Hold on one moment. Let me at least escort you. I do have the semblance of a gentleman. Hold on. I'm going to try to get this guy patched up a bit.
All right. Make your medicine check. As you do so, she, however, does not seem to wait for you. She is...
For crying sake, 15.
All right. So while you're like, dude. You take a few moments. You actually manage to stabilize him. He actually took a pretty sizable hit, and the between that, the shot in the wound, and then being punched in the bullet wound, he's actually in way more of a critical condition than she was. But you've stabilized him, and he could probably easily be put into the stasis transport, given it's all set up already.
Okay. Captain.
What?
Boss. Oh, the woman's awake, and and she's knocked the lights out. And she's knocked Track's lights out. He's in the medical bay. I'm gonna go keep an eye on her. Where are you? You're up in the bridge. I'm sorry I lied about being a criminal. Sorry I lied about a lot of things, okay? We can talk about it later.
All right, back on the back on the bridge. After
I'll try to find this lady then.
yes, as you go and try to find the lady, you sort of lean out of the corridor and you look left and right. Now, it almost feels impossible, like she should be out of your sight already, but she is. She is literally just gone. You have no idea where she went. Bastian, on the deck, you've got obviously the you've got the command of the consoles. What is your course of action?
I am going to slowly start to figure out how we disengage if we are to make everything work. And I am going to measure out any other life forms or anything else that's going on with the ship that I should be aware of before we take off. If that were to be possible.
That is possible. You basically run a system diagnostic, which is going to take you the better part of, say, 20 minutes or so, during which time you will have access to minor systems.
Okay.
Logs, for example, are an example of the minor systems. But things like, say, for example, the doors or taking off, you can't really do while the diagnosis is in process.
Okay. Then I'll start accessing the logs
All
and
right.
figure out what the heck happened here.
As you access the logs, a individual appears in front of you. This person matches the description of one Baila Della Rossi. He looks kind of sternly at the screen, and he says, "Captain's log. I don't even know what stardate it is anymore. We've spent a great deal of time cast into the red zone, searching for any and all forms of blood lithelium. I have no idea what those gnomes want with the stuff, but apparently it's important enough to hire the ship and even have the mining companies all rally and vie for these contracts. And yay, lucky me. I've gotten the contract to go into the red zone and offer my life for the greater good, blah, 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 blah. This is our 6th month on the surveillance. And yet again, we have found regular lithelium. The stocks are now well and truly supplied, so, well, there's that. But I heard recently that another 2 scouting ships have dropped out of the search. So we'll keep trying, because let it not be said that we did not at least make some semblance of an effort." He sort of turns off that particular log. The following one. Captain's log. It appears as though we have found our blood lithelium. Strange, it matches a lot of the properties that they did mention, but there does seem to be something quite peculiar about it. A couple of my ensigns have taken the smaller exploration vessel to investigate it. I will hopefully hear back from them soon about what some of the properties are and whether it'll be safe to land. With that, he ends that starlog. We have arrived on the planet, and there is more blood lithelium here than I have an idea to what to do with. We clearly will not have enough to transport everything there, but this is going to be such a lucrative investment. I can't wait. The crew is ecstatic, and they're working harder than ever. Some of them are starting to experience the effect of some long-term hallucinations, saying that they're starting to see things or hear things scuttling around in the air vents and life support systems. But, you know, like when you're spending this much amount of time in space, it's not surprising that some who haven't steeled themselves for this kind of endeavor would find themselves in rather a strong sense of claustrophobia and paranoia. This one ends. The next one. This image of him is now like bedraggled. His hair is kind of out. His shirt is untied, and his uniform is kind of slovenly. He has a glass with him of what looks to be alcohol. Another team is gone. I don't know what to do. We started with 10 teams to go into that tunnel and mine the ore. It's that simple. I mean, it's not even that far away from the ship. How have 10 teams been lost to this damn rock? I can't give up now. and I need to continue for the sake of the families of those who had lost their loved ones here. I need to bring something back. I can't go back with what I have. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep trying. The next entry comes from what appears to be a different individual. This is Lab Tech Eugene Sverger-Menjensen. We have a problem. The captain has sealed himself away in his living quarters and has refused to come out. And there is a biological hazard that's been found by many of the technicians. It's currently being explored, but with so many people having been missing, we've just got no idea to start. Our medical crew are minimal at best. But with my assistant Trax, we're hoping to be able to come up with some form of device to be able to push aside these vegetative growths and hopefully manage to break free, at least in time to be able to get the ship into orbit and take what we have and go. Without the captain's order, this is the last issued command of the Dela Milani. The last message has no visual. The visual is completely broken. There is just the sound of screaming that seems to be coming from everywhere. They talk about, it seems as though crew members are pleading with other crew members. There's this huge, sort of battle that is going on. Like the sounds of high-powered mining drills being shot off in close proximity, people yelling, gurgling death throes as this feed eventually cuts quiet.
Hey, Baz, how's things going?
Yeah, I'm gonna need to talk to our two friends right now.
One's unconscious, the other one walked off. Give us a scan and I'll go track it down.
All right. If you have a chance, you know what? I'll contact the captain. It'll be better.
The captain, as you've now prepared all your things and you make your way to the airlock,
Yeah.
there is someone already there.
What?
The airlock closes. Well, it's sort of like in the process of closing as you're approaching. As you sort of hastily move forward and look through the viewing window, you can see what appears to be a woman in black armor, and she's sort of still putting and attaching her attire. It almost looks like her body is moving so fast it's leaving an echo. So she's moving.
Lock down all exits. Do not let anything leave this ship. Immediately lock down the airlocks.
I lock them down.
Make a computing check as you do so.
I'm sorry, Captain. That's going to be a 7.
You are unable to, as basically you go to what you think is the security panel, but it happens to be the weapons panel, and you're like, no, this isn't right. Damn it, where is it? And you sort of go back and have a look. I mean, in his defense, he is doing the job of what effectively would be 12 people's job to try and... but you do not manage to get there in time. As you watch, she reaches down and picks up a hard glass helmet that she places on her head. This now pitch black armor and pitch black helmet has the black visor sort of appear over its head. Its sleek physique is definitely elven in nature, but it's not like anything you've seen. It is not the golden regal things of the Sajet or kind of the very intricate leathery kind of patterns or microfibers that you're used to from the other elves. You've never seen technology like this. As she sort of turns to face the portcullis, she opens the sorry, not portcullis, what am I saying? The port viewing window and open the exterior door. She then steps out. But as she steps out, again, she moves with such a swiftness that there's an image of her that echoes before it then moves out after her.
What the hell? I'm pressing on that airlock to reopen so that I can get in there and then get out behind her.
As there is now a high concentration of oxygen, a safety measure is that the inner airlock won't open until the outer airlock closes, which it does in its time, which for you is obviously way too slow as you're...
Right. I just open up the comms. Who the hell is the woman in the black armor?
Black armor? There's the woman that was in the stasis.
Did anyone get a name from her?
Olivia.
Olivia. Well, I could bring her up on the charges on the computer and see if I can follow her tracks.
Right, I'll get on it. Captain, come on, let's go.
The inner door opens, allowing you access to the exterior. Now, you have a choice. You can disembark immediately, or you can wait for assistance.
Well, I've still got the live comms to Mr. Fell, even if I disembark from the ship, right?
Correct.
Right. I curse under my breath Bastian Fell for being right. And so I stand and wait at the airlock for my brother.
All right. Doliog.
I get there fast.
Max Trax awake.
Trax is not waking up.
Oh.
No, not without some substantial healing. He is dying.
Well, my last mission was the engine bay. To the engines. We will make this work.
Very well. Trax is fine. Elias tended to his wounds and placed him in the stasis field, so he is on a gurney ready for transportation. Very easy, very quick to do. Actually, no, he didn't. He just stabilized him. So you've made your way to the engine room, where you begin the process.
And I'm going to make him be a popsicle.
Oh, well, that'll actually take some time. You'll need to make a medicine check to find the sedative and actually load up the gurney.
I will waste my time doing this.
Very well. Very well. Please do so.
That would be a 20 unnatural on the medicine check.
Okay.
You're a new doctor.
All right. You
Dr. Dolly.
You search around and you find what you believe to be a bag of the sedative, and you place it inside the gurney. Make a computing check.
Oh gosh. That would be a 17.
With a 17, it seems to go through its automatic systems. The one big difference is that the pincers don't seem to have been dug in quite right to the goblin. It only sort of hits his shoulders as the shield goes. All right. As you then make your way to the engine room. All right. Elias, you arrive at the entrance to the ship in the airlock. Your brother is waiting. He what is the reception that he receives from Elias? From Ulrich.
Yep.
Excellent. All right. Opening up the airlock, you both disembark. Seeing, of course, before you the same surroundings before, rocky, rather desolate terrain with a pathway that seems to lead up back towards the camp that is illuminated now with the rows of the lights that are now functioning due to you restoring power to the mining site.
Okay, can I try to see where this lady went? There's a lot of dirt everywhere, right?
Rock mostly, but you can make a survival check to see what has been disturbed.
I'm okay with that. Look, Did you ever bum up on your Boy Scouts?
No.
All right, I'll give it a shot. 18. Oh, sorry. I have a -1. That's a 17.
17. All right. You don't really find any particular tracks. You sort of look around really hard. And you can definitely see your tracks and when you came in originally, because there's no wind, obviously, so it's not disturbed while it's in the interior of the asteroid. But you can't see any sign of where her tracks went to.
Quick question.
Mhm.
Is there a tracking device in her suit that would be attached to the ship?
Bastian pulls up the cargo manifesto as well as the passenger manifesto. You could see that there is definitely an Olivia Greystone who was indeed part of the crew, who matches the description of the woman in the medbay.
Yeah.
The problem is that she was apparently part of the kitchen crew, which seems incredibly bizarre. Mostly because, well, of course, while part of the kitchen crew is very important, it doesn't really account for what seems to be happening. It seems as though something's kind of a little bit off.
Yeah, it makes no sense with any of her actions. Okay.
Did you pass any of this on?
Yes, I will say exactly that info. So the girl you're chasing right now is definitely a part of the crew, but she's not in any sort of fashion a warrior of any sort or any type of soldier. She's part of the kitchen staff.
What'd you find on the logs?
Wearing photonic displacement armor.
Yes, you're chasing a chef with displacement armor on.
Oh, let me rephrase. Not even a chef. I mean, literally potato peeler.
No,
right.
well, even better.
Was she in the captain's logs or anything? Did anything that's come up? Did it talk about the egg?
So there's no mention of an egg, but there is mention of fighting within the company, within this ship. Everyone who was here killed everyone else.
I kind of slap my brother on the shoulder. I bet she's sick. I bet she's some sort of secret operative. And I bet she's the one who got the egg on board. Maybe. I'm not sure. But all right, we just need to find her. Fortunately, Embeth locked up the ship, so. Oh wait, sexy tiefling lady, could you please make a scan for a elf with high-tech armor?
Sorry, but you want me to scan the exterior of the ship for a elf in armor?
Oh, it's just somebody that's not us in armor.
Very well. My scans are limited within this this particular field. Authorization code, please.
I pass it over to my brother.
Embeth, authorization code Alpha Roger 1, Charlie 1, Sector General Roger 3-4, Tiger. Now, if you would be so kind, you should be looking for a fairly large power signature.
Well, matching that description, a power signature can be found. Allow me to place it onto your augmented reality heads-up display. Immediately in front of your basically your visor, as it were, that appears when you have your suits active, you can now see an arrow that seems to point you down what appears to be a corridor that leads a bit away from the path. Embeth says that this is reading a very high concentration of electrical energies. As for the elven individual, there is no such scan on the exterior of the ship, and my scans are unable to penetrate for that kind of detail beyond what it is visibly, or what visibly is around the ship.
Mr. Fell, do you think you can lock down that ship so that no one can get back on board? Mr. Zigutu, would you be able to assist him with that? And I think you want to join us. This is far more important than anything else on this bloody thing. Who is this woman? And who let her out of stasis? I thought I told everyone to prepare her to transport her back to our ship.
Trucks kept trying to get it undone. I thought he was going to kill her.
Well, let's think about the fact that this is a love-hungry goblin who came back to a ship to steal something away for no one else to find it. Probably not the best person to trust right now.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, he's out of commission and not getting up.
All right, then. I will get everything under control. Is there a name to this computer, DM?
As in, are you trying to activate the artificial intelligence?
Yes.
The artificial intelligence aboard this vessel is called Dennis. He is currently switched to sleep mode.
Dennis, could you please wake up?
All of a sudden, you can basically see what appears to be a dwarven face, but more blocky, almost made of iron. As it wakes up, it sort of lifts its head, which now floats like a hologram on the central screen, and it says, "Welcome to the Cairn Morcanen Mining Corporation vehicle. My name is Dennis. How may I be of service?"
Hi, Dennis. I'm here under orders of the captain to take this ship home. But before that could happen, I need you to lock down this ship from any orders besides me or Eric Keene. Is that understood?
It has, except you will need an authorization code for an alpha level request such as this. The changing of the operation manual and any others who change the order of the hierarchy needs to come from the captain himself or one who possesses the captain's key code. Without which, I am unable to fulfill your request, sir.
Understood.
I'm glad. That's why I communicate with people.
Yeah, that's great. God, you're so dwarven. All right. Well, then, I'm going to ask you who the closest being is to have that authorization on this ship.
Scanning. That would be the captain, sir.
Where is the captain?
Currently, his location and whereabouts are in his quarters, Sector G, Hallway 5.
Is the door locked?
The door is locked, but there appears to be a minor breach.
Understood. I'm going to head down there then. I'm just gonna. Do you mind keeping diagnosis on?
Diagnosis is still underway. You are at 26%.
Great. Keep me updated on that. Communicate whenever you reach a good percentage to get to there. I'm going to go deal with this other thing. Captain, it's going to be a little bit to get this ship under control, but I'm pretty sure that we can get everything that we need to fly out of here.
All right, Mr. Fell, make sure that happens. Mr. Daliag, how much do we, Mr. Zagutu, how much red lyrium do we need to bring back with us in order for you to get the ship to fly?
All right. After your cursory glance, what you would require is about, I know kilograms, I know things. So you need 10 kilos of red lyrium in order to power this ship with enough stable energy to be able to take it off. Now, basically, what you would be doing is you're going to be creating and crafting a capacitor to interface with the current power core and basically overcharge it. This overcharge would take it from its current dormant state to fully operational service. The problem is that if you use too little lyrium, nothing will happen. If you use too much lyrium, it will explode in a cacophony of fire, death, and destruction, unto which unheard of.
I got this, Captain. Need about 10 kilos. That's about it.
For
Do you need
reference,
to remain on the ship, or can you join us in this expedition?
It might take me a bit to build the things to need.
You believe that you've got what you need on the Starswift. The Starswift, you've probably got exactly the tool you need on the Starswift.
I'll have to make a trip to the Starship first. Little grocery shopping. How'd you say, Captain?
Do you think you can get there on your own?
Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, sure. It'd be a little lonely.
I might ask your brother.
All right, Mr. Fell. Would you, you're in charge of the ship. Mr. Zagutu, make sure that when we get back with this red lyrium that we can actually fly out of here, please. All right.
All right.
Very well. All right.
Yes.
Now for my personal understanding, because for those of you in the audience who have not noticed this about a particular member of this table's playstyle, every opportunity that occurs, one particular individual enjoys splitting the party in 4 different directions. I won't name anyone, Guy, but but it happens so often. So let me see if I can understand this correctly. Dolyug has been given the instruction to return to the Starswift in order to retrieve what he needs in order to create his device. Bastion is currently aboard the Dela Milani in order to try and, well, basically maintain control and security, as well as finish his diagnostics.
Well, and get the captain's code.
And get the captain's
Yeah.
code.
Right.
All right. And both the Keen brothers are in pursuit of the red lyrium that they require, as well as keeping a weather eye out on this mysterious femme fatale. Have I forgotten anything?
Yes, the goblin is currently in a defrosting state, or a refrosting state, actually.
He is currently frosting. So the goblin is currently being dealt with in stasis. Now, alternatively, you can take the goblin with you, Dolyug, to go and see Simon, who is still aboard.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Or Simon.
All right. So, all right. So the Starswift. Okay, cool. So let's do this. Both the Keen brothers begin to make their journey, tracking the signal as it weaves in and out of the caverns around the asteroid. Around you, you can still see the moss that seems to grow on the walls. But as you get closer to this kind of location, you realize that the moss seems to retreat. It seems to be less and less prominent around areas with that you're heading towards.
Interesting.
You slept with a Graith.
Yes. Yes, I slept with a Graith. A lot.
I didn't need to know that.
It just felt important. I wanted to make sure that, you know what, I'm just going to leave it as here. Yes, I slept with a Graith. I've loved a Graith.
Is she still alive?
Yeah, she's still alive. Her father might be a field commander, so I don't know about that. But
A field commander?
yes, he was. How do you think she dragged me in front of a court of Graith like 18 times and got the living crap kicked out of me?
I assume that was just part of your weird mating ritual with them.
It didn't really. Okay, come on now. You know that's not how it works.
With you? I don't know.
That's fair, but yes. Listen, if you think I understand it, how why it all happened, you can guess again on that. It just kind of did. And then
You're going to try and go back to her?
Yes, I am. For her to me.
I don't.
You'll
What sort
find.
of future could you possibly have?
I don't care. I have one with her. Whatever future that may be, short or long.
Well, do you plan on having puppies?
I really haven't put any thought into that, all right?
No. You haven't put any thought into it. And that's the problem. You're the only one who can carry on the family name.
It guys kind of looks at you. All right. Who was she?
As you get to that point, could I get both of you to roll me perception checks, please?
17.
Well, apparently I'm not looking at my brother either.
We just can't look at each other. It's too intimate, right?
You're kind of staring off in different directions. All right. As you do so, Elias. Sorry, what was Ulrich's one?
18.
18. Ulrich and Elias, both of you notice that the wall behind your brother appears to be slithering.
Wait, which wall? Which brother?
Both of you.
Both walls behind us are moving.
Yep, you're looking behind him, and the wall behind him seems to be slithering to the left. You seem to be looking in the same direction, and it seems to be slithering in the same direction.
All right. All at the same time.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Look out!
All right. As you do so, you can see basically sleeping coiled above you. You basically watch as almost like fluorescent lights just start to turn on. These glowing, bright, brilliant energies begin to crackle along these huge spikes that seem to be jutting out of this slithering mass.
Run!
As it shudders, the rocks begin to fall from the ceiling as the two of you, I assume, begin to sprint.
Yes.
All right, roll initiative as we get into this huge, massive creature. Now, the light in this area is now just, the electricity that is spurning from these giant spikes seems to be cascading along the walls and casting this blue light into the corridor. So you've now got beautiful vision of like this entire area and the giant, mother-sized serpent creature. This is, of course, a mama electrovore that seems to have grown to an immense size that is stirring from a slumber due to two noisy people. All right. So what was the initiatives?
12.
15.
12 and 15. Okay.
I mean, it makes sense. The younger brother is always more nimble.
Yeah.
All right, and then the creature will go last. All right, Elias, you're up first.
All right. I'll already be running, and I'll give the big old dash action.
Yep. All right, you double move and you then sprint even further as your speed and your years on the track and field team have truly paid off as you begin to basically leave a trail of dust behind you. Ulrich.
Dashing as well.
Yep. Again, not quite as fast as your brother, but you are definitely making some strong headway. The creature then twists and turns and begins to unravel. It sort of looks down and begins to smell the air. And it definitely does catch a whiff of something. All right. As it does so, we now... sorry, go. I assume you wanted to... Guy?
Mr. Zagutu, if one of those electrovores happened to bite the ship, would that give you enough power to take off?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like, it would damage the ship, maybe, but I mean, yeah, it could work. Maybe fry everything inside too. I don't know. I mean, electricity likes to jump.
Faster talking! Faster talking!
Then that's not an option. All right, I'm not going to do that.
All right. So as you begin to run, you basically just trying to get in front of this thing. Bastian.
Okay.
Now you at this point have been instructed to go and find the captain's command code.
Yeah, I'm walking over to that right now. That's my whole thing.
Yeah.
Can I hear this whole situation going on?
Yeah, you're on a singular comm channel, so you can hear all of the.
So I'm guessing I should go back to the front of the ship, or should I just go try looking for this key card, guys?
We're fine! We're fine! It's gigantic! It's so big!
Okay, all right. And I'm going to open the cargo bay so you can trap it inside there. That's the thing I'm doing now. And all right, I guess I'm going back.
No, do not. Can you hear, Dalian? It's going to fry everything. Make sure the ship can fly.
Okay, I'm going back to the front of the ship. All right, Captain. Fine.
As you go to the front of the ship, you look out the forward window and you notice something truly and desperately horrifying. There is about 15 humanoid eyeballs staring at you from the darkness of the cave. And as it does so, a Cheshire-like grin with fangs grows. It is literally the size of the front of the ship. This face leans backwards, and as it does, you can see mops of hair that seem to be made of this writhing, twitching white mass of tentacles. As it gets further, you notice that it's basically a ball-shaped kind of alien creature with 8 legs that seem to stretch almost the entire length of the cavern. It is hovering in the air because its legs and limbs are so long that it can claw into the walls itself and suspend its main body mass, which sort of sways. As it does
Dennis?
so... Oh, sorry, go on.
No. I just say out loud, Dennis, shoot everything forward. Everything we have right now.
All right. There we go. Do you like that? What a mining ship. We have no guns.
Fuck!
All of a
I'm
sudden,
gonna cry inside now.
you feel the ship rock slightly. And as it does so, within the bridge, you notice something even worse. You hear slithering through the air vents.
Well, Captain, I have a bigger problem inside here. I'm pretty sure I'm not alone, and there's a giant 8-legged monster with a shit ton of eyes that is staring right at me with a dangerously devilish grin, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die on this bridge.
Do you have the logs?
They were transferred to our ship.
Then get off of that ship. You and Zagutu make it back to the Starswift. I've had enough of this bloody planet.
All right, we're going now. I'm heading down to the med bay to get tracks.
Oh, he already left.
Is he already gone?
He is definitely already gone.
Okay.
Doliag, you hear this as you're sort of wheeling tracks up towards the Starswift. You can hear this. You can hear the sounds of the Della Milani being rocked back and forward in the distance behind you. All right. As you pick up speed with the trolley, in front of you, you can see there are 6 mining workers with tendrils growing out of the base of their skulls. They hang in the air, and they seem to be moving towards you.
Revving speed!
All right. Make
I
your
believe
melee,
you, Doliog.
make your melee attack as you ram into them.
Make your melee attack with the cryo chamber.
Yep.
Right.
Wait, hold on. Let's take a moment to appreciate this. The hovering, four-limbed, furry mammalian alien is ramming a hover tray with a goblin into some zombies that are attached to a giant spider. Have I missed anything?
In space.
In space.
It's
In
conscious.
All right, punch it. What's your attack?
An 18.
With an 18, you crash into the 6 of them. However, so roll your damage of 1d6 but the stasis gurney falls onto its side and collapses onto the ground, rolling to the floor. The zombified creatures do take the damage.
That would be 3 damage.
3 damage, but they are all still up and ready to grab and bite and snap at the creature that was that rammed them. All right,
Drone's gonna do some distraction work.
all right, we'll come back.
I was hoping you could like knock through them like bowling pins.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that as we return to Elias at the top of initiative.
Alrighty, but I'm just kind of I'm staying ahead of my brother, but I'm keeping up, so I'm slowing down so that way we're not too far from each other. To the ship then. Our ship, yes. I mean.
To the star.
All right, please make me a perception check as you begin to run. The creature now is sort of like caught your scent and is chasing 13. After. 13? You're just running. You're just moving so fast. You're just like, as you basically veer down the corridor back towards where you believe the Starswift to be. Ulrich, you can also make me a perception check if you wish.
16 on the button.
16 on the button. Could I get you to make a survival check as well?
Natural 9.
Natural 9. Yep. You follow your brother in suit. You, of course, being slightly slower than he is, are able to witness as the huge mother Electrovore lands on the ground and begins to slide down the corridor. You're fairly sure that it is faster than you and will catch up to your current pace in 3 rounds.
I shoot the ceiling above us as we're running behind, hopefully to try and cause that to collapse. Or to hit some red lyrium and just... Oh, well.
End it all. Roll a percentage, please.
Percentage?
Indeed, a percentage.
9. Holy crap! Oh my gosh, are you kidding?
No, I don't know what that means.
It's amazing.
There is an enormous explosion that occurs. All of a sudden, there is a moment of weightlessness as the floor falls beneath Elias, Ulrich, Doliog, and even Baz in the ship. The whole ship of the De La Milani slides forward into a crevice. You see that smiling face suddenly turn into shock and alarm as it tries to catch itself. As you basically tear apart this whole floor of the asteroid, rocks and rubble fall down, collapsing and colliding, sliding down through into the darkness. Doliog, you can make a piloting check as you try to hang on. Baz, can I get you? You do have enough power to try and stabilize the ship if you also want to make a piloting check. Elias and Ulrich, you are out in the wilderness with no vehicle. You may make a reflex save to try and catch on and grab something as you're basically tumbling through.
21.
With a 21, you are fine. You sort of... What'd you get?
20. Natural.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. As you both begin to fall, you both sort of see each other and manage to find a ledge. Both of you can only reach it with one hand apiece. So you both grab each other's hand with one arm and grab the ledge with the second, giving both of you enough support to pull your second arm up onto the ledge. As both of you, I've killed my screen. As you've both managed to reach and grab hold, you sort of pull yourself up just in time as you hear this electrophore fall down beneath you. You watch as literally for hundreds of kilometers, this light seems to dissipate and disappear.
I look back. He missed it by that much.
Bastian?
I got a 19. Sorry, to deal with the computer.
I was gonna say you guys can both hear the laughter coming from both brothers as they're hanging on.
Is this Stockholm?
Oh, this is every mission with you guys now, huh? Okay.
So with the piloting check, you manage to even out and stop yourself from sliding into the hole that you see the creature fall into. The reverse thrusters get into gear and the landing, you've basically activated the landing gear. So the landing gear is basically pulled out in the back but kept forward in the front, which has wedged it into the wall, damaging them permanently, which means that it wouldn't be able to make land anymore with the damaged gear. Dolyug, what was your piloting check?
That'd be a 17.
With a 17, your hover vehicle manages to keep you aloft, but you've lost sight of Trax.
There goes Trax into the abyss. Is it chaotic enough for me to check? Or is it still rocks falling?
You're currently falling. No, you're currently floating in the void. You like your dark vision, which I assume you had. Do you have dark vision? Yeah, you do. Or do you only have
curved ones? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like
you can see 60 foot around you in dark vision. There is nothing around you. You are literally, in your perception, inside an inky void.
Everyone dead? Am I dead? Is it some sweet relief?
Well, the brothers seem to be laughing, so I think we're all alive.
Oh, I know.
Is everybody all right?
I mean, I'm physically together. Let's get out of here.
I think I'm okay.
Can everyone get back to the Starswift?
We'll find out.
I can.
Okay. Elias and Ulrich, you are on a safe ledge with at least some climbing to do. You could probably get back up to where you had originally fallen from, which would give you a reasonably clear path back the way you believe the Starswift would be currently placed. Baz, you are on a very precarious ledge. As you sort of stand up to go and assess the situation, you feel the entire ship shift and rumble as if it is teetering on the edge of the fall into the abyss.
All right, this isn't the worst thing I've been through, but it's pretty damn close. Let's see if I can get out of here.
Dolyug, you, however, as mentioned, are floating in an inky void. You have a reasonable idea of where you need to go, but the only thing you know for certain is you can see the lights from the Della Milani flickering in the distance, like kind of the emergency, like one of the emergency lights that seem to be kind of setting off now that it's unstable. All right, let's find out what people do. This time we'll start with Elias and Ulrich.
start climbing out and making our way back to the Starswift. Everything else is moot now. I completely cocked it up, didn't I?
No. I think that was the best case scenario we could have hoped for from this mission. Hey, brother, do you think we should send out a general elf-based, hey, do you want to get off this rock alive message out into the void?
You think she's worth saving?
I don't know, but if I could save one person, they might be worth it.
Embeth, are you still there?
Yes, Captain. The asteroid has become unstable.
I noticed. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Would you please broadcast a broadband message to this area that should there be any survivors who are capable of hearing this message, that they should make their way towards your coordinates, please?
Certainly. Right away.
Broadcast on all bands, Elvish as well as the common channels.
Sir?
And keep your eyes open for a ship. There might be a ship in the area.
Yes, sir. I will let you know if there is a ship within the proximity of my senses.
Going home.
Okay. Both of you can please make me athletics checks as you begin your ascent. Bastian?
Real quick,
23.
in my scans, is there a chance that I might have passed by some sort of hovering vehicle or some sort of thing that would help me get out of here faster?
You believe that there is a very small loader that you could possibly pilot. Now, the loaders are not designed for flight, more for hovering. So if you were to use it carefully, you would be able to go from your current position, which is a very precarious spot, to one of the more safer landings nearby. But it would be too big and clunky to proceed onwards with it.
Okay. Then I'll just do the good old use my feet.
Okay. You begin to make your way through the ship, and every step is a moment where Bass's heart sort of pauses a bit. Every now and then the ship...
Okay, we're good to move. Let's keep going. All right.
Okay, as you take a few steps and you pause. You take a few steps and you pause. You take a few steps and you pause. Roll me an either an athletics or an acrobatics check is your choice.
All right. Let's see which one's better. Acrobatics it is. 17.
Nice.
With a 17, you gracefully make your way through the ship. And eventually come past what you believe to be the living quarters. And you can see at the end of the corridor, away from the direction you're going, is the captain's quarters. Now, you don't need to go into it, and I know a lot of people in the audience are probably going, he's just railroaded him. I'm not railroading him. I'm simply offering a choice. You do not need to go in there, nor will you suffer if you do not. But it is a viable choice for you to take. With it
going.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I need 3 acrobatics or athletics checks for you to make it down this corridor, as it is towards the starboard side, as your every step seems to shift it in an incorrect direction.
It's gonna be a 5 on that first one.
Make a reflex save as your first step shifts the weight of the vessel as it moves from its incline.
It's gonna be a 3 for the next one.
You tumble forward, rolling down to the corridor. The ship dislodges from its position and begins to plummet. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we are going to leave today's episode. Well, no. I did forget someone. My apologies. My biggest, deepest, and sincerest apologies. Dolly Young, you watch in the distance as these blinking red lights slowly start to descend into the abyss. What do you do?
I'm gonna go.
All right.
Alex, you're just gonna sit there in confusion.
All right. He sits there and contemplates what could possibly be happening as we will now wrap this up. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us again. If you aren't going to be joining us for the review, we will catch you guys next time. If you like this show and want to see more like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. All right. We're going to breeze through our usual review today with, of course, the Dice of Destiny, starting us off with none other than Captain Ulrich himself. How do we find today's game?
Well, I thought it was really, really fun, really good from a character building kind of space. The brothers are, I mean, I just so that everyone knows, out of the game, I have been chatting with Josh saying, I actually do love you, don't worry. I don't hate you. It's just that Eric is having issues with what he's hearing and discovering, right? So I love this discovery, this puppies? Really? Seriously? That's your thing? Okay, no judging here from me, but from Eric, it's a different story. No, I think it's been a lot of fun. I think it's been really great. And I think yeah, I like this kind of conclusion sort of feel with the asteroid blowing up, and it's all coming to a head, and I think that's kind of exciting. And yeah, just everyone's just yeah, it's been great. I loved it.
Awesome. All right, Elias.
Oh, very, very, very good. I got to have a ton of fun. The last 2 games has been great. Got to have, and yeah, I had some good moments with Eric. I just can't wait. I have a few plans that I had that I may have to amend. That was like, because poor Eric, his brother's just putting him through the ringer on this one. And I also got to have some good one-liners, like when that elf lady was get up in my face. I just looked at her. I've stared in the void. I've stared in the void of death. I have to try harder than that. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot.
Oh yeah, no, that was so funny. Like she looked at you and she was like, "Yeah, no, it looked like you've seen death before. You, however, you giant fuzzy weakling, you'll break
pockets."
And yeah, I'm really glad I got to have show this side, because this is something that Bass and Eric actually don't know. Because this is one of the additions I had add to the character from the side story that we had was how Elias deals with death, and he always laughs. Like,
which, if you do want to check that out, hopefully we've published it by the point that this episode is aired in a series of side kind of adventures called the Chronicles of the Starswift Fractured, which is when we don't have everyone here, or if we run an episode that has a partial party, we'll we do those ones. Bastian.
Well, those last few moments kind of extra destroyed me real fast, really, really fast, because I was like, things have been going really well, guys. Like, I feel like a golden boy right now, and then destruction, just pure destruction.
Yep. No, I tell people all the time, luck is like a living, breathing creature, and it's like a cat. You know, you pet it for a while, and it feels really nice, and it's awesome, and everything goes your way, and all of a sudden, you accidentally rub its belly, and bam! Yeah, that's kind of what happened here. Very exciting. I'll admit, guys, I'm actually not prepared for what's happening at the moment. So
we have to go fish our pilot out of the hole,
which will be fun. And I love speaking of fishing.
I can't fly the ship, unfortunately.
Speaking of fishing for the pilot, Dolly Uggs, I want to hear from you, especially with the quiet contemplation at the end.
I'm feeling that Soul Survivor vibe right now. Like, I'm over here perfectly fine. Nothing's happening. I'm like, everyone's falling to their doom. Yay! Okay.
But if you make it back to the ship, you're making it back home.
It's like, do we check to see the corpses, or do we do we just not check and leave them to die? I mean,
I
I lost
can't
the guy. I
believe-
basically killed him. Or tracks down there, frozen.
That's true. That's true. So overall impression of the game, good? Had fun?
I can't believe you rolled a 9, guy. Oh my gosh.
You know, when I said I shoot behind me, I didn't even think about the explosive stuff. That's why, I was shooting. I was sort of ice cave, ice collapse. And as I'm saying, I'm like, and I shoot it, and I'm like, oh my God, wait, there's explosive stuff in there. And you said roll. I couldn't remember if high or low was good. Not that it makes any difference. I roll. It's like, oh, that's 9. Okay. And then.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then-
no, for me in all my games, I always play that low is bad, high is good, because that way players always look forward to high rolls, and that's just kind of how I was always run it. And the thing is like, it was what made it extra funny, and what I didn't tell the group was that they were actually making their way towards the lithium storage, like the highest concentrations of it. So as they got deeper, the percentage kept rising. From depending on where they were in the particular adventure. Like if they're in the mining area, it's only like a 1% chance, whereas if they're in the actual mine, which is where they are, it gets as high as 50%. So, but I mean, this one was just like, it was a 10% one, and it was lower than 10%, and I was like, damn it! All right, well, let's do this. I'm gonna blow this whole thing up.
It worked out pretty well because we got to deal with the giant spider, we got to deal with the giant stupid eel, which are gosh dang it, I hate those things. Who invented that? I bet it was a gnome. I bet a gnome was the one. Yeah, we're gonna wrangle these things.
Yeah. All right. So thank you very much, guys, for joining us for the review. We must away as always, but well, what will happen next time? Will these guys survive their exploration, or will this be the shortest adventure of Starfinder yet? Tune in next week to find out. And for us here at the Starswift, as always, guys, keep your dice rolling and make sure your ideas stay mind worm free. Have a good one.